Hi, I'm Audrey Ang. You're listening to Grammar Matters, a series of podcast episodes from the English Language Institute of Singapore. Grammar Matters aims to help listeners become more aware of areas of English language use in Singapore that do not follow standard English conventions and which may be confusing to other speakers of the language.
Hello, I'm Paul Doyle, and you're listening to Grammar Matters. In this episode, we'll be talking about three small words in English, the articles the, and an. Let's listen first to someone complaining about a washing machine they bought.
Ming Han, how are you?
Hey Sarah, fine, but I have problem.
What's the problem?
See, I bought washing machine 3 months ago from Excel Electronics. Washing machine worked alright for 2 months. Then it started giving trouble. There was noise and it stopped working 2 days ago.
Didn't you complain to them?
I called them twice. I told them it has guarantee. Nobody came.
Why did you buy the washing machine from that store?
I bought electric iron there last year. Iron is working okay.
You should write a letter to complain. If they don't reply, send a copy to Case.
Thanks Sarah. Can you help me to write the letter?
Let's do it now.
Did you notice Meng Han left out some words? Which words did he leave out? Instead of saying, I have a problem, Meng Han said, I have problem. And instead of saying, I bought a washing machine, he said, I bought washing machine. That's 2 mistakes, but there were several more. Did you hear them all? Well, you'll be able to listen to that conversation again at the end of this episode. You'll hear a correct version, so you can check whether you spotted all the missing words. We're talking about the use of 3 small words that are among the most frequently used words in spoken English, the, and an. These words are called articles. The word the is called the definite article, and the words and an are called the indefinite article. As you've just heard, for such small words, they can definitely cause a lot of problems. Let's try to understand how they are used and why they may sometimes cause these problems. We can place an article before a noun, and when we do this, we change the meaning of what the noun refers to. If we take a countable noun, such as car, we have several possibilities. We can say the car, a car, or even cars, and each of these has a different meaning. Incidentally, if you're wondering why there are 2 indefinite articles, well, that's because we use an in front of nouns that begin with a vowel sound. For example, apple or orange. We say an apple or an orange. Try saying the word before any of these words, and you should notice that it's quite difficult to do this fluently. You'll probably sound like you have the hiccups. In a conversation or a written text, when we introduce something for the first time, we generally use the indefinite article, a or an, before a noun that identifies something. Once we have introduced the noun, we will often use the to show that this is the same noun that we spoke about earlier. Here's an example. Let's recall the conversation you heard earlier. Meng Han should have said, I have a problem. He introduces a noun, problem. His friend replies, what's the problem? To indicate that he wants to know more about the specific problem that Meng Han has, and not any other kind of problem. So the is used here to confirm that the speakers are talking about the same problem. This is a simple move in their conversation, yet this use of the is very important in building mutual understanding between the 2 speakers. Imagine if his friend had replied, what's a problem? Instead. Very quickly, I think this simple conversation would become rather complicated, even philosophical. So you see, the use of the indefinite or definite articles even though they are very small words, has an important effect on meaning and communication. There is another use of the definite article in English that we can hear in the following sentence. Just as the Earth orbits the Sun every 365 days, so too the Moon orbits the Earth. You can probably guess what I'm going to say, that the Sun, the Earth, and the Moon are all unique, and therefore we use the in front of these nouns. And that's right. Of course, from an astrophysicist's point of view, there are countless stars or suns in the universe, many thousands of planets like Earth, and probably millions of moons orbiting those planets. But for most of us, there's just the one sun, the one moon, and the one good Earth. The grammar of the indefinite and definite article in English is quite complex, especially in academic and technical language. In fact, this area of English grammar presents a real challenge to many learners of the language. They may ask themselves, do I use the, or do I use a or an? When should I use the so-called zero article? That is, use neither the definite nor the indefinite article in front of the noun. We will explore some of these questions in a later episode of Grammar Matters. For now, let's listen to Meng Han's conversation once more and his use of the definite and indefinite article.
Ming Han, how are you?
Hey Sarah, fine, but I have a problem.
What's the problem?
See, I bought the washing machine 3 months ago from Excel Electronics. The washing machine worked alright for 2 months. Then it started giving trouble. There was noise and it stopped working 2 days ago.
Didn't you complain to them?
I called them twice. I told them it has a guarantee. Nobody came.
Why did you buy the washing machine from that store?
I bought an electric iron there last year. The iron is working fine.
You should write a letter to complain. If they don't reply, send a copy to Case.
Thanks, Sarah. Can you help me to write the letter?
Let's do it now.
This Grammar Matters podcast series is brought to you by the English Language Institute of Singapore. We would like to thank the Regional Language Centre of the Southeast Asia Ministers of Education Organisation for allowing the use of material from their Grammar Matters publication. Special thanks to Hamshala and Wisia for being our voice talents. To find out more about the ALICE podcast, visit go.gov.sg/ELIS podcast. Thank you for listening.